Hi folks, hope you're doing well. So, two of the most recent videos I did recently have now got a thumbs down, probably from that same person who does it, who I believe is called Dave, who goes to the River Church in Elgin. I mean, it's probably him, or it's someone from that church at any rate. Yeah, as I say, as it says in the description, thank you for the thumbs down, that is hate. If you tell me why, that is love. Well, of course, you're not going to get a why from these people. One of the videos was saying that most won't receive. And okay, again, look at what was said about that. Look at the word of God. Look at what Yeshua said. He talked about tares being sown in. Well, that's not me saying it, that's him. That's supposed to be the one you're saying it's all about him. Yes? So he said that. But you don't believe that. He said that 3 out of 4 types of ground that the seed falls upon will not bear fruit, and therefore that person isn't of God. Anyone of God is going to bear fruit. That's the reality. So that person is not of God. Okay. So therefore, will those people that don't bear fruit, will they receive what God is doing now? No. No. So therefore, okay, even if you're going simply by the 3 out of 4 don't, that means that most don't. Because how can you not work out that 3 out of 4 is most? Are you that poor at math? You give it a thumbs down because you're crap at math. Well, okay, go back to school. If you're that bad at math, go back to school. If you have no understanding of the Word of God, then, okay, that may be why you're giving a thumbs down rather than actually trying to argue the point. Because, yeah. So if you tell me why, give a thumbs down, but then tell me why. If I'm wrong, tell me how I'm wrong. Because obviously, perverted truth absolutely must lead to perverted beliefs. It must do. And perverted beliefs must then lead to perverted paths. It must do. Right? That has to be the case. If you put poison in water, that poison is going to poison the body, right? Of the person who drinks that water. Yeah, that goes without saying. Yes? Generally speaking? Yeah? Okay. So yes, it's a generalisation, but that's the point. You can only talk about generalisations. If you're talking about certainties and you're talking about individuals and you're naming individuals, and that's a bit unkind as a thing to do. So therefore you speak in generalisation because that's not directly speaking about any particular person. Right? It's not trying to turn the world against an individual. So therefore, yes, it's a generalisation. Of course it is. But again, it's an accurate generalisation. If you go to a church which is perverting the truth, your belief will therefore be perverted. That's obvious. How would anyone say, no, that's wrong? No, that's wrong because my church says it's wrong. My church says that we're doing a fantastic job. And I'm such an absolute moron that I believe that. Anyone who says different, I have to give a thumbs down. Excuse me. As I said, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. That's love. That's what love is. If someone is going on a wrong path, you lovingly try and correct that. Yes? Of course. But it irritates me, especially on ones where it's so simple and so obvious. And again, when you say anything like that, anything that goes against church, that says that the way church is doing things is bad, you get the thumbs down, but no explanation why. Because again, the person can't explain why. I've got no problem. If somebody wants to come and say that I disagree with you because of A, B, C and D, go for it. Yeah. You'll see people, when people have done that, I've never been nasty to people. Never been nasty to people with regards to that. I've always been reasonable. Yeah, so, yeah. People, eh? Well, as I say, it's a simple thing that, you know, it's just obvious. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm talking about my own personal experiences, things that I've actually witnessed. I'm not talking about some pie in the sky thing. It's what I've actually seen and witnessed. And that's why, again, yeah, I get that somebody from the River Church may think it's been unfair, or someone from the Church of God, Pentecostal Church, just down the road from here, would also feel that I'm being a bit unkind because I'm speaking about them all the time. Yeah, maybe. But would you rather I just make stuff up? I can only go by what I see. I can only go by what I hear. Well, I'm banned from all these churches now, so I can't tell you what these churches are doing. Well, is that my fault? No. I never banned me from those churches. Banning people from church is of the devil, so therefore that's only showing more that these churches are perverting the truth. When they ban people and continue to ban people. I say Jeff Oakes was supposed to get back to me, the person in charge of the River Church. He was supposed to come back to me when he got back from America and have a discussion with me, but he never did. He never did because it doesn't matter that much. And he would have been told by the assistant pastor that I've now been banned from all events because when they were having their coffee morning, I would go down, or it's a soup thing they have, whatever, they do meals for people. I was there and somebody said the most ridiculous thing and I said, okay, do you get that from the Bible? It's because the Bible doesn't say what you just said. And the person got offended and reported me to the associate pastor, who then banned me because of that. Right? So instead of the associate pastor saying to the woman, well, is what you said in the Bible? Shouldn't that be the first thing? I mean, to me, that should be the first thing, isn't it? If someone said that what you said is not in the Bible, well, is it? But if it's not, and you're quoting it as if it's from God, then, yeah, you were in the wrong. And it wasn't necessarily wrong for that person to point it out. You might not like the way the person did it, but that's between him and God. It's up to God to deal with the little things. Yeah, because obviously the way he's doing it is called a speck. But you saying something is from the word of God that isn't, that's a plank. So, yeah, that's not ban someone because they're a speck if you don't want to be banned because you're a plank. Right? That should be the answer to that, shouldn't it? But was it? No. They jump at a chance to extend the ban. To extend the ban. Yeah. And again, that's not of God. Now let's assume I said something nasty to them. Let's say I was saying, "Oh no, you're going to hell because of what you believe," and blah blah. I didn't say that, but let's assume I did. Okay. Again, do you ban people from church for that reason? No, you educate people, don't you? It's the point, you educate people. You use the platform that you have, that God has given you, if God has given you a platform, to educate those people that are badly educated. Because you know that if people are saying things, it's because they're badly educated. Well, yeah. You're coming at it from that point of view. That's God's way. My understanding, okay, God might have put this person here for me to help to educate that person. Well, okay, the only thing that Jeff Oakes ever said to me about me doing videos about the church is he just rather I didn't do videos about his church and talking about what I see happening in his church, because it's making his church look bad. At no point in time did he say, oh, and what you're saying about the church is wrong. No, he was just saying Yeah, you're revealing what's happening in our church. It's making our church look bad. That's because the church is bad, right? I can't make the church look bad on my own by revealing what I see happening in the church. If I'm being truthful and revealing the good, the bad and the ugly, if most of it is bad and ugly, then that's not my doing, that's yours. Now, again, as I said, Jeff Oakes had been in the position of being the head of that church for maybe 5-6 months, maybe a bit longer, by the time I got there. Is that enough time? Yeah. Sorry, it is. It just is. It's enough time. It's enough time. Yeah, as I say, when the person practicing worship is singing about, I want to see Jesus, I want to see Jesus, I want to see Jesus, and I'm saying, well, excuse me, isn't it them out there that need to see him? And then she basically screams at me, I want to see him. What is that showing? Again, I'm simply reporting what I've seen. That's what I've seen. Right? This is what you get. This is what you get when people are playing church rather than, trying to understand how to walk according to his will and his ways. Yeah, and then, as I say, this whole point, as I say, it's Fight Club. You know that film? You can't talk about Fight Club. Church is Fight Club. I've said that before, but that is exactly how church has been. If you talk about church, we ban you. Right? Fight Club. Okay. You want the same rules as, the script in a movie says that you can't talk about us. Yeah. But as I say, when it comes down to it, that's what I say. Do I want to go ever back to these places and share what God has given? No. No. If this is the attitude of the leaders of that church, then go to hell. If that's what you're choosing, then choose it. And if people are willing to come under that and follow you, then they're willing to come under that and follow you. In the end, that's not my fault. Not in any way, shape or form. You get to make your decisions, and as I said the other day, for years and 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 years, I've been very concerned about the church and wanting to help people in churches, and being highly frustrated at going to a church and finding no one at all. Seeing the attitude of the people in church, seeing what they do, seeing how they do things very much according to this world. And I don't need to have that disappointment anymore. I don't need to have that stress anymore of trying to do that. So there are still things in me that need to be dealt with, and until they are, God isn't going to move me into a position where I can be of use. I'm really sharing the stuff, so therefore with individuals, or speaking to a church, so therefore I'm not going to worry about it for now. If it comes to a point where I'm asked to go and speak to one of these churches, then it'll simply be a case of saying, okay, well then the person that banned me from the church has to unban me. If that person is dead, well then I won't be unbanned from your church. Because if your church was okay with that person banning me, that person has to be the one to unban me. Yeah. Well, as I said, the other church, I know there's people in that church that were delighted that I was banned from that church. So, yeah. Yeah. Well, as I said, also in that video the other day, yeah, helping people to receive what God is doing now. It's not an easy job. Yeah. That's going to take hours and 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 hours. And there's no particular willingness to do that for anyone in those churches. Not the people I know. None of them. I said the other day, maybe Mrs. B, but no. No. I thought maybe her because, yeah, when I first noticed her, she appeared as if she'd been in the presence of God. Well, I don't think she had ever been in the presence of God. I think it's God made his presence to be near her, so I would see that. But that wasn't her. That was God wanting me to notice her. But that wasn't because of who she was, it's because of who he was. And it was about him, it wasn't about her. So, yeah, no one. I wish them well, and, you know, hopefully they can prove me wrong. But do I think they will? No. People can change, but it's bloody hard to do so. And I'm not sure that any of them have got it in them to do that. That's why. So therefore, take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.